let's shuffle on. We've got another topic. It's the same topic, so it's the same intro. And I guess technically not wrong, because I mean this thing I said more Acolyte. It is more Acolyte. Star Wars: The Acolyte aims to top Darth Maul's lightsaber fight.
What?
Oh mate, honestly, the amount of crap. There is so many articles out there right now about the Acolyte. It's just endless.
How long until it's better than Empire, or it's the best Star Wars since Empire? That'll be the next headline.
You joke, but I actually think that will be the trajectory that they go in, because they are so desperate. That's why the title of the stream is Desperately Pushed by Disney. They are desperately pushing this. This is Entertainment Weekly, right? And we've got the ones from Empire and things like that as well. I guarantee you this will be exactly the same way that the Rings of Power was promoted. So Entertainment Weekly, they'll take all the money from Lucasfilm. They don't care. They'll promote the absolute piss out of this. And then when it comes out, they'll go, yeah, it's garbage. Just like they did with Rings of Power. But anyway, we're getting this nonsense bloody headlines. And they are nonsense. These headlines are just absolute poo. So here we go. Where is it? Here we go. So there's a lot of excitement surrounding the Acolyte. Tom, are you excited? Have you seen the excitement?
Let's check. I can't find it.
Exactly. You see? Do you see the hype that they're trying to generate? And then, check this out. Check Tom. If you're not excited, you're gonna be excited now. Okay, Tom, pay attention. If you can put your camera on, I want to see your face. Right? It's also the most diverse Star Wars project ever. That is a line in the article. I've highlighted it for you. What do you think? Are you excited?
Yay.
It's the most diverse Star Wars project ever. I'm sold, ladies and gents in the chat. I'm sold. I have to watch it now because it is the most diverse Star Wars ever. Right. Anyway, there's more.
Haven't we had the most diverse Star Wars ever the last 10 plus years now? Isn't that what they were boasting about to begin with?
Well, yeah, but then each one they add another brown person, so it gets more diverse. Because that's what they mean.
This time they're just going to add a trans person, right? That's the new one.
It doesn't matter, does it? Like, who cares? According to these people, it doesn't matter. Just the most diverse thing. Diversity is such a racist concept. Really is. Like, an immutable characteristic really makes a difference. Yeah, I'm going to watch it because there's more brown people in it. Like, piss off. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway. But there is another reason fans are eagerly anticipating the show. Where's the fans? Who's anticipating it? Like, the trailer's got 600,000 dislikes. Who's anticipating?
And they cleaned it out from what we had heard from. I wish Nick was here to talk about this because those guys noticed that, I guess, first. The dislike ratio lost like 500,000 or so dislikes in a matter of minutes at one point.
Did it? Jesus.
Yeah, they scrubbed it. If it wasn't that much, it was like 200,000 or something like that. Because it went from being like 500. That's what it was, I think. It was like 500,000 dislikes plus. And then all of a sudden it went boom back down to 300. So they somehow scrubbed like 200,000 dislikes or whatever it was.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah.
Well, mate, that's a lie because it is so diverse. Okay. And fans, they just can't wait to watch it. So we're all anticipating it. Okay. Everyone's anticipating it. And the reason why is because we're going to get loads of action. There was loads of action in the trailer. Do you remember all that action in that trailer? Because I don't.
Lesbian
action? I barely
action?
remember any action in the trailer, actually. But wait, there's more. With fight sequences clearly inspired by martial arts choreography, Force Fu, The Acolyte has fans dreaming of returning to what may be considered the best lightsaber battle in franchise history. Darth Maul's aerobatic. All right, it says aerobatic, not acrobatic. Engagement against Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan
Aerobatic.
Kenobi. And if viewers are hoping that the fights are going to match that, they're not alone, because that's what they wanted to do on the cast and the crew. That's what they were trying to do, apparently. So here's Daphne Keane. Yeah, that was a very frequent conversation we had. Was it? Was it? Was it? No, it wasn't. Shut up. It was very much, we want to top the Darth Maul fight. The most iconic fight, I think. This part annoys me. In the Star Wars cinematic universe. It's not a cinematic universe. It's just Star Wars universe. Why are you calling it the Star Wars cinematic universe? What are you doing, you child? You scrotum. But who's ever called it the cinematic universe of Star Wars? Anyone? Have you ever done that? I've never called it that. Am I wrong here? It's not. It's just the universe of Star Wars, isn't it? It's not a cinematic universe.
I've never heard it called that before. It's the Star Wars universe.
Exactly. It's such an amazing fight, and we were all so excited about the saber fights. There's such a skill and a craft to it that it feels so OG. OG, yeah. Star Wars. It feels so impressive when you see it as a viewer.
I have a hard time believing they've seen the OG Star Wars. I mean, I know Leslie Headland loves all the Star Wars. But
wow. Yeah. I think she was thinking about the porn parodies that Weinstein put on whilst he was banging those chicks to, get in films. Allegedly. Daphne Keene's fondest memories on set involve having a lightsaber in her hand. Yep, she likes cylindrical objects in her hand. Shafts in her hand.
That would insinuate she's straight, though, Mr. H. Are you assuming?
Right, anyway. It was my favorite part of filming. I love the whole training process of it. Everyone was very excited about it, which then made it much more fun. Our incredible stunt team created this kind of fusion of different martial arts, and we were really trained in how to use the sabers. I feel very comfortable with a sword now. The rest of the interview takes on a whole other.
You know what I miss, Nate? I miss when every action thing didn't have all the same stunt coordinators to make everything look exactly like the last thing, like the last thing, like the last thing, like the last thing.
Yeah, no, you are. It all blends into one. To be fair,
it ever since like the aughts, that's been a thing. Like they'll only hire like certain crews that do stunts, so then everything looks like John Wick, or everything looks like The Raid, or everything looks like Bourne Ultimatum, or whatever, Bourne Identity. It's like, did they forget that different people used to bring different styles to the table? That's what I loved about, you go to a Stallone movie, you usually get to see him doing his thing. You go to a Chuck Norris movie, well, Chuck Norris is going to throw some karate in there because that's his thing, right? Like, like Bruce Lee, same thing. Of course, I expect to see a kung fu film when I go to see a Bruce Lee movie, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, it doesn't matter. It all looks like John Wick. And so this is just going to be John Wick in Star Wars.
Well, even Monkey Man was a bit John Wicky.
There you go.
Well,
see, that's my point. So you can't seem to find like a differentiation anymore between any of these guys. Like even when we had Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, and Chuck Norris all making movies at the same time, and they all were basically, people who were known to use martial arts. They had their own styles. So you'd watch the films and the action sequence would be completely different because Jean-Claude would bring his stuntmen in, right? Steven had his stuntmen. Chuck had his stuntmen. They came with the actor, and it was like the style followed the actor, not every movie is just like the last one, like the last one, like the last one, which is all just like the Marvel films for a while too. It's all the action's the same.
I mean, well, especially more so now that
and Wire Fu. Thank you, Tom. I am so sick of Wire Fu. It is some of the laziest, stupidest looking shit in the world. It does not. Nobody could physically move like that.
Yeah. I mean, they're really, yeah, they're really scraping the barrel here with all of these things. Like this, I mean, this
Well, it's
whole
kind of like
interview's
with pop
terrible.
music when you have the same 3 or 4 producers and writers making all the songs for all the artists. It all sounds the same. It's the same thing with this stuff here. Sure, it may be exciting to watch, but is it going to be anything different than what we've seen before? No. In fact, you're invoking ones we've seen before with Darth Maul. Try something different. Why was Darth Maul exciting? It wasn't so much that he was flipping and flopping all over the place. You asked me, he looks kind of queer doing that. What looked cool about Darth Maul, besides the makeup, was that he had something nobody else ever had before, and that was a double-sided lightsaber. And ever since then, they've been trying to
Mm,
one up that. You're not gonna. Okay? It's just
yeah.
how many more blades can you add to a lightsaber? You can't add any more blades to a
Oh,
lightsaber.
wait, they will try.
They
No, they have
will,
tried
but I mean,
because they've got the
my
spinny
point
one.
is,
They've got the spinny ones. You
well,
seen
that's my
them?
point, right? Like, what else can you do
Yeah,
at this point besides it
they
make
did
it look
try.
like we're just trying to even Kylo Ben's lightsaber is ridiculous. It has
Oh
exhaust ports
yeah,
on the side that would burn you.
yeah. I remember that. I remember that. I forgot about that.
And not only that, it would set his whole arm on fire. Like, what the hell? Like,
Ugh. But so
I mean,
you're
ever
not
since
interested, but you're not. But it is the most diverse, mate. You're not interested. You don't want to look at all
I'd
the.
rather see a black exploitation version of young Lando Calrissian, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Give me
uh,
that. I want to see Lando being the baddest mofo in the galaxy.
yeah, that would be pretty good.
Fucking tons of women, shooting shit, hanging out with Han. You know, there's a trailer out there. Somebody did it. Like basically that exactly what I just said, like a 70s black exploitation movie about a young Han Solo or I'm a Lando.
Mm,
I'd watch that. You want to be diverse and do something cool? Do that. That'd be
yeah.
badass. Yeah, and the only other thing we haven't had yet is lightsaber nunchucks, Mecha J. You're right. But you know what? Dumb motherfucker kill himself with those. They don't even
Oh
think about
dear.
the whole point of the lightsaber and how it works, even, right? Like that's what I love listening to like Mark Hamill talk about the way George presented a lightsaber to him compared to what they do now. Because he was griping about all these
Mm,
young kids getting to flip around and do all this fancy shit with their lightsaber, like Errol Flynn. He's like, when George handed it to me, he's like, you got to pretend like this thing weighs like 2,000 pounds. Like it's a
mm,
huge force. That's why he always has it in 2 hands at all times. Right. So to him, he's supposed to be like lifting. It's supposed to be this huge, massive force you're dealing with, pushing against kind of thing. And the way they present it now is it's just like a sword. And
mm.
that's you touch that sword to your leg and it's going to burn your damn leg off. Right. It's like they forgot how these things work. I mean, it burnt through a door in episode 1. I mean,
Yeah.
big, huge door. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
It
they
just,
melted it through, didn't they? They melted the blast doors.
yeah.
Oh, this could be terrible. I can't. Yeah, it's going to be awful. Absolutely awful.